Let's go through all my Indiana Jones figures to see which one
belongs in a museum.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Carbon Scoring, the best place for comics, history, and action figures. Today we're going to look at the best Indiana Jones figures ever made. But hey, this is Carbon Scoring. We're not going to do a straight review. No, we're going to analyze these figures through the lens of the brilliant new 6-inch Adventure series. But before we start, a quick word about the packaging. Yeah, I know we all hate the windowless packages, and we'll be glad to see them go the way of New Coke soon. But dang man, these are actually really good. The color scheme here is really great. I love how the color fades from top to bottom, and that essentially inverts the classic Indiana Jones logo, which is hard to go wrong with that typeface. Plus, the lighter box color allows the figure image to show up more prominently compared to Marvel Legends boxes. The figure also has a glossy print compared to the matte finish of the box, but it's the storytelling that really pushes this over the top. They incorporate the map design with the traveling dots along with the vintage-inspired art of the character. Another solid image on the back, along with a diagram with the included accessories. But the thing I love the most is the throwback to figure packaging of old, with the cross-sell of the other figures in the line, and also showing how by getting the entire wave, you can complete the Ark of the Covenant. When it comes to accessories, we have to look to the Marion Ravenwood figure from Hasbro's 6-inch Adventure series. Marion looks great. Hasbro did a good job of capturing the likeness of actress Karen Allen, and the details of her costume are on full display. But what puts Marion over the top are the items she comes with, starting with her trusty frying pan. Yeah, maybe she should have come with a shot glass. It was, after all, her preferred weapon of choice. But the real winner here is the monkey. This thing is not only fully painted, I mean, down to the details on his face and on his little red coat. Even his fur has proper shading, and he features multiple points of articulation, including a ball-jointed head. This monkey has more articulation than Hasbro's recent Howard the Duck. As far as the best Indy for accessories, I'm going to go with the 30th anniversary San Diego Comic-Con box set figure from 2011. And I'm cheating. This figure clearly is the best from Hasbro's 3 3/4 inch line. It incorporates a tremendous amount of articulation for a figure of this size, along with one of the better Harrison Ford likenesses. Sure, he comes with pretty standard Indy accessories, like the sandbag and the fertility idol, as well as his gun and whip. But I'm gonna cheat and throw in the 2008 Deluxe Temple Trap from the figure that pretty much shares the exact same sculpt. It comes with this fantastic play feature. When Indy goes to remove the idol, snap! The sides release a spring-loaded collapse mechanism. What a great freaking toy! When it comes to paint applications, the Adventure Series Belloq figure is perfection. Hasbro has been using faceprint technology on their 6-inch figures recently, and that level of detail really brings out the sculpt, recreating the likeness of Paul Freeman, the actor who portrayed Renee Belloq. It's easy to appreciate the bold colors on the necklace plate, but I'm even more impressed with the fine lines that rim the details of his headdress and the subtle beige colors across the belt, bringing out that cloth look. Plus, each of these little white checks perfectly match the sculpt. This is just an impressive piece of action figure art. Indy fans were without new figures for 20 years until an exclusive series of 4-inch figures were released at Disney theme parks in 2003. While there were several figures in this 5 POA line, I only managed to pick up this Raiders Indy without his trademark jacket on. Thankfully, in 2007, Disney Parks sold this exclusive 7-inch figure, sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios. I got mine at the stand right behind the Indy Stunt Experience show. It features a solid 14 points of articulation with a really high level of paint applications. It has a number of nice paint washes that bring out the detail in the sculpting of the jacket and his shirt, creating a weathered look, which is particularly noticeable on his pants. But all the details are here, including everything from the golden belt buckles down to his shoelaces. Indy's 5 o'clock shadow, a subtle but crucial feature, is artfully done as well.
It's not the years. It's the mileage.
Action figure likenesses are something that have advanced greatly in the past few years, and that is clearly apparent with the evolution of that Nazi vermin, Arnold Toth. His figure from the original 1982 Kenner line was pretty good for the day. You could clearly tell who this was. 20 years later, even more improvement with the Hasbro 3 3/4 inch figures. But now, another decade on, and we have this masterpiece. The smug, pursed lips, the hat pulled low over his brow, those round glasses concealing those squinty eyes. This is exactly how we all remember. Oh, who am I kidding? When you think of Arnold Toth, you think of this. Yes! We got a face-melting Toth in all his waxy glory. No amount of gore was spared with this horrific head swap. The skin and blood running down his face as he screams out his final breath. Pair that with the scorched Heil Hitler hand bearing the scars from the burning amulet, and Hasbro has given us a perfect picture of horror. Speaking of sculpting, few in the toy industry compare to Japan's Medicom Toys, who released this 12-inch Indy in 2008 in their Real Action Heroes line. Indy works so well in this format. The soft goods for his leather jacket are excellent, including a working zipper and the inner liner with an inside pocket. He has his Oxford shirt, perfect for both the classroom and the field. And he comes with dual belts, one canvas with a sliding buckle and the second leather belt with his gun holster. His whip is plastic, and while it seems like it should have been more of a woven rope, it does hold its shape better this way. But it's the head sculpt where this figure stands out. Harrison Ford's defining features are present. His slightly crooked nose and the scar on his chin are subtly represented. Medicom takes full advantage of the increased scale to give us this well-sculpted version of Dr. Jones. Articulation has taken on huge importance to collectors, but for me, all that movement still has to serve the overall look of the figure, and the new Sala does just that. You wouldn't think this guy could bend, but Hasbro uses the sculpt to their advantage. These elbows actually get great flex and swivel, and there's a ton of motion with the abdomen ball joint hidden by his belt. The lower body does what it needs to do, with his tunic firm enough to hold its shape, but not getting in the way of posing. I'm particularly impressed with the head movement. Often these turbans would screw this up, but not here. Sala has impressive range and tilt. This figure proves you don't have to be Spider-Man to have terrific articulation. Don't laugh, I'm choosing Kenner's 1982 figure as our best example of articulation.
You chose poorly.
I know. Every figure we've seen has more points than this one, but you have to realize what an evolution this figure represented. Here's what was on the shelves at the time: an Empire Strikes Back Han Solo. Indy's new knee joints add dynamic action and let the figure interact with vehicles and playsets in unique ways. Then we get the action feature. Squeeze the knees and Indy does a quick draw with his pistol or his whip. And none of this takes away from the sculpt. The Indiana Jones line is the clear bridge for Kenner from Star Wars to superpowers. So you've seen how figures of the past have represented the essentials needed to form a great action figure. But there's one that puts it all together: the Hasbro Adventure Series 6-inch Indiana Jones. This figure is darn near perfect. For accessories, he comes with his pistol and his whip, which both fit nicely on his dual belts, even if getting the snaps in place is almost impossible. He comes with multiple hands. On the right, he can hold his pistol, crack his whip, or throw a punch. On the left, he has a casually open hand for neutral poses, and another specifically designed to hold the golden fertility idol that he comes with. The paint wash is strong, particularly on Indy's hat and on his leather jacket, where the lighter highlights really bring out that worn-in look. The figure could have benefited from a light wash on the undershirt and on the pants, but that does run the risk of the figure looking muddy. Much like Sala, Indy has nicely hidden articulation within the sculpt, particularly at the waist and at a butterfly joint under the jacket at the shoulder. He can achieve greater than 90-degree bend at both the elbow and the knee. And finally, the head sculpt and facial paint application really bring out a great 1980s Harrison Ford likeness. But things are getting even better as we appear to be entering a golden age of Indiana Jones action figures. We have already seen reveals of Kazim from Last Crusade and a map room version of Indy from Raiders, while Target has revealed exclusives of Professor Jones and a Club Obi-Wan Indy from Temple of Doom, as well as Walter Donovan from The Last Crusade. But it gets even better, because at the recent Star Wars Celebration, a Temple of Doom themed wave was revealed, featuring Short Round, a hypnotized Indy, and 2 different classic Temple of Doom versions. Plus, we're headed back to Raiders with a Marcus Brody and Renee Belloc 2-pack and a deluxe Temple Escape set. And the cherry on top is that by collecting the entire second wave, you can build the Sankara stones from Temple of Doom. Indiana Jones is finally getting the action figure love this franchise deserves. Let me know in the comments what you think and who you want to see in a future wave. I'll give you a hint. The correct answer is Mola Ram. And as always, for the best in comics history and action figures, subscribe to Carbon Scoring.